Good morning. It is Friday, September 19th. Just out for a little morning walk with the dog. Yesterday's workout was feeling pretty good. I really don't like working out super late in the day, but that's sort of just what happened. I had some errands I had to run after work, and we ended up driving up to a friend's house that was about 40 minutes away from where we live, and then took off from there to go to a new gym that we were checking out. So I didn't really get to deadlift until pretty late in the evening, maybe like 6:30. Really not ideal for me, especially for sleep. And then on top of that, for dinner, they made us these gigantic steaks. I think each steak, they bought 6 of them. Each steak was 1.25 pounds, which has to be the biggest steak that I've ever had in my life. And I'm not usually a huge steak guy, but it was really good. And going against my better judgment, I decided to eat the entire thing, along with a homemade cheese Danish. I actually went back for a second one. Definitely not my best day of eating for the diet, but sometimes it's okay to let it slip. I will say though, I think a combination of deadlifting late in the day and going to bed on a very full stomach really impacted my sleep. I'm still feeling pretty full from the dinner last night, and sleep was okay. Not feeling the most rested, but not feeling terrible. So this morning I am headed off for a run. We're doing another 4 miles this morning, and that one focus is to keep it slow, keep the heart rate in check. And then later today I'll be headed off to the gym for an easy chest day. So we'll get after it. All right, we're out cruising on the run, back on the running path. We're gonna end up doing 4 miles today before I head to the gym. Right now, I'm feeling pretty good. Despite lack of sleep and maybe a little bit of overeating, I feel pretty awesome this morning. Right now, we're cruising around 11 minute per mile pace, heart rate sitting in the mid 130s, so that's pretty much right where I want to be. Still just keeping things super, super low intensity. Like long term, the goal is to be able to have these really high intensity days, but I really need to lay the groundwork right now for being able to do that. So that's what we're doing. We're building it back. To me, it really feels like there's a lot of noise in the fitness space. A lot of weird terms. People are throwing out hybrid athlete a lot now, and all these different training methods for getting fit. And it's hard because there's so many interesting things that you want to try, that sticking to a long-term program, when you've got that shiny object mentality, becomes really difficult. And even though I'm only a couple of weeks back into regular training, I'm feeling that already. Right now, the shiny object is running fast, and the shiny object is going out and having big days or doing really long runs, but it's really important to push through the noise. None of these programs really apply to where I am right now, so I've just got to do my own thing. I've been really tripping out recently on how incredible the human body is. To think that just 6 months ago, I literally couldn't even walk. And there was a lot of question marks around if I would be able to walk regularly, to now
being out training again is just unreal. It definitely enforces some biases that I have, that exercise can solve most of your problems, but it's so insane, right? Like a year and a half ago at this time, I was getting ready to sit in an infusion chair for chemotherapy, went through that, and I was able to rebound and get fit again. And then 6 months ago, to hit a tree, break my hip, break my back, and tear my ACL, and to put in the work and just stay consistent, and now to be out running again. It's crazy. It feels like a completely different life. Something that I've noticed about myself is I'm really good at the 0 to 1 phase of things. You know, starting and getting to a general level of competency, and that's across the board. That's with anything in life, really. I think I'm really good at that introductory, but it's the 1 to 2 where I really start to slip up. You know, that's when progress starts to slow down. You start to lose motivation. You really have to dial in and figure out what's working and what's not. Because in 0 to 1, really doing anything is going to get you there. From 0 to 1, I like to think of it as a circle. You know, there's a border, and that first section is all about finding the border. You have to make your way out, find the line, explore around it, and figure out what all exists in that circle. That's the easy part. From 1 to 2, the circle goes away. You can go any direction that you want. There's no border, but if you choose the wrong line, you may end up somewhere you don't want to be. That's the part that I've got to figure out. 1 to 2, where do I want to go? You know, once I'm back to a basic level of fitness, how do I take it further? How do I get to that standout level of fitness? I feel like I'm surrounded by so many people who are such incredible athletes, and I'm chasing them. And I don't know if that's because I spread myself so thin amongst a bunch of different activities, or if I have the capacity to commit. All right, done with the run for today. I went and met up with my dad for some lunch. We went to a local sandwich shop, picked up a turkey club, super fire. So shout out Gilligan's Sandwich Shop in Morro Bay. Sipping on a Diet Coke as well, because Diet Coke doesn't have calories and I want something sweet. I'm off to the gym for my session today. We're gonna do some bench press. I think I'm enjoying doing, you know, my upper body days on running days. It makes sense, it keeps the intensity lower, but I can still get my workouts in, and having squat and deadlift happen on non-running days feels right. Something really funny happened on the run, and it makes me think that my heart rate monitor is broken, or at least breaking. The first part of my run, my heart rate went up to 230 beats per minute. And I noticed this because there's a small hill at the end of my street that I run up every single time I leave the house. Usually my heart rate goes to like 150 as I'm going up the hill because I take it slow. But my heart rate, when I looked at the top of the hill, was showing that it was coming down from 180. It was like 179. So it might be time to get a new heart rate monitor. The one that I have is actually secondhand already. I got it from a friend of mine because I didn't like the Wahoo heart rate monitor that I was using, and he was buying a new one, so he switched me and gave the other heart rate monitor to his girlfriend. But it's old. It's pretty old. I've had it for maybe 2.5 years now, and I think it was maybe a year and a half old at that point, so it's probably time for a new heart rate monitor. The other thing about that one too is I pretty much never wash it, so it's getting pretty gross, so probably time. Anyways, I'm gonna head over to the gym. I'll get some video of my workout, but it'll be pretty simple. We're gonna do some bench press, we're gonna do some incline bench press on the Smith machine, some accessory work, which is probably just gonna be the pec deck, you know, chest flies, and then I'll call it. Then the rest of my day is just hanging out. So let's get after it.
Okay, so going through today's workout, we did a 3x3 on the bench press to start out with. I did a few warm-up sets before jumping in. The first set was 155, moving up to 175, and then finally 195 for my top set. I definitely struggled with the 195. Bench press has always been a difficult lift for me, and I think a big part of that is because I have never put a lot of focus into it. So I'm really trying to pay attention to my form here, really trying to get better at bench press because I would love to get this number up. Next, I moved on to this incline Smith machine press. I did 3 sets of 185 here. First was 10 reps, then 9 reps, then 8 reps. Then I moved down to 135 pounds and just did a burnout set where I did 15 reps. This felt really, really good, especially on the Smith machine. At this angle, I feel a really great squeeze in my chest. And this is definitely more on the bodybuilding style workouts that I do. You know, there's no real application for the bench press as far as I can see in running or mountaineering, maybe a little bit in rock climbing, but this one is definitely more for the ego. You know, I want to make sure that I like the way my physique looks and I want to feel strong on a lift, even if it doesn't matter towards my, long-term endurance related goals. So gonna keep trying at this, gonna put some effort into this, but it's definitely not my main focus. Moving on to the pec deck here. Even looking back at this video, I can tell that my form is not the best. So I think on my next chest day, I'm gonna lower the weight here and just see what I can do about maybe getting my arms a little bit straighter, getting a little bit more of a squeeze at the end as well. And I think a big thing that I need to do is just keep my back arched while I do this. It almost looks like I'm collapsing forward and I'm not really getting the squeeze that I think I could be getting out of this exercise. It feels good when I do it, but I definitely think I've got some room for improvement here. Moving on from the chest exercises, I've been really enjoying this tricep machine. It's like a skull crusher sort of situation, but because my triceps have a weird imbalance to them, I have a hard time doing skull crushers with an easy bar or with a dumbbell because it always feels a little bit off, or it feels like my elbows are sort of in different positions. So I like that this forces me into one position, and I definitely think that this is going to help my bench press overall, but also to get my triceps looking the same. I would really like that.
So I've got the other half of my sandwich that I'm going to finish off for my next meal of the day. I'm still feeling super full from that steak that I had last night. I mean, seriously, it was almost a 1.25 pound steak, and that was not even the entire meal. So it's been a pretty light eating day for me. The sandwich was really the first thing that I had aside from an orange to start the day. And it is 3 o'clock now, and I've probably only had about 500 calories from the first half of this sandwich. So gonna finish off the second half. Tonight, me and the wife are headed off to a party. We're going to a local mountain shop that's having their 50th anniversary. We're gonna head over there, hang out, and there will be food there as well. So that's where I'll finish up my calories for the day. Not super concerned with tracking that. I know, especially with the amount of exercise that I've had today, I'll come in under my daily calories, and especially after finishing off this sandwich. So not gonna worry too much about trying to under eat, just gonna eat consistently and not overeat.